Hello, Michelle. How are you today? How's it going? What's shaking?
I'm good, Lindsay. Lindsay, do you want to go fly out to me for my birthday and visit me?
Oh, Michelle, I would love to. I got to check my calendar though,
Oh,
you
okay.
know?
Well, no pressure, no pressure.
Okay.
It's
Nice,
not my
nice.
birthday, but
Oh,
it'd be nice to
yeah.
see you. Um,
Next year, right? November. Yes. No,
December,
December.
December.
December. Oh, I always screw up your birthday, but I'll be
It's
ready
okay.
next year.
I've done it to you too. I texted Lindsay a month early for her
Yeah,
birthday
I know.
once.
All right, good.
So today we're going to talk about a common way to tell someone not to stress about something. And I
Mhm.
already said it, Lindsay. Did you catch it?
I did. You said no pressure. So you asked me kind of a direct question, right? Which,
Mm-hmm.
almost like the feeling like you were waiting for me to say, yes, I'll come visit. Right. But then you said, no pressure, no pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is really common. I definitely use this. Michelle, when do you use this? What kinds of scenarios?
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, I actually just had someone text it to me yesterday, and then I
Ooh,
realized I texted it to someone else.
interesting.
And I even since planning this, I realized Dan texted me yesterday and used no pressure. He was asking if I could help him with something, but I wasn't able to. And he
Huh,
had said no pressure. So
interesting.
to me, I think it's used often when you make some sort of invitation or request of someone, but you want them to know that they shouldn't stress if they can't do it. So we're gonna get more
Yes.
into this.
Yeah.
But this
And
is a
there's some
good one.
other ways to say this too that are really good that I can think of. So I'm excited for today's episode.
Yeah.
Kind of it's a matter of knowing I think frequently for me it's used when we don't know people as well. I mean, maybe
Mm.
that's not your experience because your examples are more closer people.
Mm.
But we'll get into it. But first, we want to make a request, a direct request to our listeners, which is
Yes.
guys, hit the follow button. But Michelle,
Yes.
what do we want to say?
No pressure, no pressure.
But if you do go ahead and hit the follow button right now, guys, you will make sure that Always English drops into your listening queue 5 days a week. So you won't have to go searching for us. You won't miss any bonus episodes, which are super important to get that extra English, right? So go ahead and hit the follow
Mhm.
button. But like Michelle said, no pressure.
No pressure, no pressure. All right. So, my friend texted me, so this is the example from the other day. She said so I was at an event and
Mhm.
then she texted me, "Do you wanna come over after your event? No pressure."
Uh
So,
huh. Yeah.
yeah, what does this mean? I mean, why would she say this? What was she
Yeah.
doing?
Well, she wants you to come over. She wants to see you, but she's kind of backing off from her invitation a little bit so that you don't feel pressure, so that you
Mhm.
don't feel like you have to go. It's that's why I said it's often used when maybe we don't know someone quite as well, where maybe we're a little afraid of making them feel uncomfortable or maybe afraid that you would come and you don't want to come. There's all these emotions and
Mm.
feelings and thoughts that if we're feeling a little insecure or something in that moment, no pressure is useful for that.
Right. It really is. You might realize that it's a little push for someone and or
Mhm.
maybe you don't want to seem too over eager. So like
Yes.
for my friend, she knew I was out. It was kind of late. It was like, I was out at this event. I mean, I didn't see her message until an hour later, but
Yeah.
it was 8:30 or 8:45 when she sent this. And so,
Mhm.
it's night and people might be getting tired. So she realized, okay, this might be a push.
Right. Right.
So let's just say no pressure. And I did feel good that she included a no pressure in there. You do kind of feel
Yeah.
good on the receiving end of a no
Yeah,
pressure.
I think so too, especially your life circumstances. If you have kids, a busy life, right?
Mhm.
Someone might be more likely to say that because they don't want to push you into doing something that you feel uncomfortable, that your
Right.
family's waiting for you, right? Something like that.
Right. It gives
Yeah.
you an out. And so that's
Yes.
gonna and what does that mean? Something gives you an out. It's
Gives you
like,
an out. It gives you I don't want to say excuse, but
yeah.
it makes it easier for you to say, "Oh no, I'm busy tonight. I have to meet my family," or something like that, right?
Right, right, right. It kinda yeah, it backs off and I think it's really very useful. I mean, Lindsay, what about at work? Do you think you would use no pressure at work?
I mean, it depends on your position and what you're asking someone to do. It depends, like, are we colleague to colleague? Are
Yeah.
we colleague? Are we like manager to direct report?
Right.
And what are the expectations of the job? If it's a colleague asking another colleague for help on something, right? That's just a way of being a team player. I could
Mm,
see someone saying that, right? Michelle,
yeah.
maybe you're trying to figure out how to do something in our software and you ask Aubrey, "Oh, could you help me out with this?" But no pressure. I could see maybe.
Right,
Don't you think?
right. Yeah,
Maybe?
I could see,
Mhm.
definitely. I wouldn't use it all the time, and I don't think I would use it with your boss.
Yeah,
Y
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But but so you could potentially use it at work, but let's do some examples of how this would be used in other ways.
Okay, here's an example. Oh, and Petey hasn't been out in a few hours. If you wouldn't mind taking him out real fast, no pressure. I'll be home in half an hour. Okay, so
Okay.
basically, I'm saying the dog needs to go out.
Mhm.
Could you take him out? You're asking, could you please take him out? But then you're saying you don't have to because I'll be home in half an hour, or it's okay if you don't. It's a little
Right.
confusing, right? If you think about
Right.
it.
It's like you're asking someone, but you're saying, "Alright, you don't have to." So, like,
Yeah.
I mean, you would hope that the person on the other end would take your request seriously,
Yeah.
and maybe just do you a solid and
Yeah.
and let the dog out. But by the way, Petey is the name of my childhood dog. Shout out
Oh,
to
that's a
Petey.
really cute
Yeah.
name. That's a cute name for a
Yeah.
dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Mm.
but yeah, it's saying, "Oh, it's okay if you can." I know it's probably, a lot for me to ask of you to let the dog out, but I'll be home. But if you really want to help me out, then
Yeah.
take him out.
Yes. And the next one, I like this example because this is an area where we definitely might use it, inviting people on vacations. It's a
Mm.
big deal, right? Especially if your family's going and you're inviting maybe a new partner to come, right?
Ooh, yep.
But you don't want them to feel that sense of I have to go.
Ah,
So, for example,
relationship pressure. Yeah.
relationship pressure. I'm thinking of going on a family cruise if you want to come next year. No pressure. I know you don't get that much time off. Yeah.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm. Or here's one at work. We should probably have this report done by the 15th. No pressure. I'm here to help.
Yeah. And that's probably a little it's not confusing. It's good. That's probably good management, right?
Uh-huh.
Being clear about the deadline, but then saying, you're willing to help to
Mhm.
get people to that deadline, right? What's
Mhm.
another one, Michelle?
All right, we are heading out for dinner in a few if you want to join. No pressure.
Nice. Like these examples, right? Very common scenario. So, inviting someone on a vacation where it might be a big step in the relationship, taking care of someone's
Mhm.
dog. These are all kind of impositions a little bit, right?
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So, Michelle, how do you feel if someone says no pressure to you?
Yeah, I do feel that I do feel more like, okay, I can get out or say no, and it's okay. This person is expecting it might not be a good thing for me, and I might say no. So I think it's helpful and nice. It makes you feel less guilty. Do you ever do something because you feel guilty saying no?
Yeah, for sure. Take an invitation to go somewhere out of obligation, and you can become resentful, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
While you're at the movies with the person or whatever it is that you're doing, being invited to do, maybe you feel like you've been pressured into doing it. So it is good.
Right.
I think for people that are really close to us, it's okay not to say it.
Yeah.
It's okay to ask for what you need. I think. You know.
Right. And of course, you
Yeah.
don't wanna say this you don't wanna say this every time you invite somebody to something.
Yeah, that'd be weird. You're the no pressure person.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No pressure, and it's almost like cutting yourself down, like, "Oh, I
Yeah, it
don't think
is.
anybody will ever wanna go with me."
Oh
So
my gosh, no, that's exactly right. Because 'cause you're hedging, you're assuming that they have it's kinda like you're saying, "I know you have other things that are equally important, if not more important
Right. So
in your
really
life."
save this for when
Yeah.
you truly have thought about it. And I like the word Lindsay used. That's going to be a key word for today. Imposition, right?
Yes.
Really save it for when it's something a little bit. It's late. It's your vacation time. It's a task you're asking a friend to do a favor. Something a little bit different. You don't have to use it every time you invite somebody to lunch. Like,
Exactly, exactly. There's something I really like about being direct and earnest, when you do invite people out, you're looking to make a new friend, right? Or you're building a relationship with someone. There's something very endearing about just being direct. And say, would you like to join me for dinner next week? Nothing else.
right.
Simple,
Right.
straightforward. You're confident enough to be okay if they say no, right? Instead of
Right.
having to add something.
But
Yeah?
if you know your friend is in the middle of a busy time at work,
Yes.
right? Then it
Totally.
shows that extra
Yes.
knowledge, right? So
Yes.
then it's not just, oh, it's different when you're showing the knowledge that something might be tricky for somebody versus putting yourself down and saying, no pressure.
Yes.
I know you might not want to hang out with me, right?
100%. You know that friend's life scenario. Maybe they just had a new baby, for example. They
Right.
have kids, they have a family. Maybe, like you said, things are busy at work. And you could add that on to your invite. You could say, oh, I'd love to get dinner with you, but no pressure. I know it's a busy week at work. You have that deadline coming up.
Exactly, right, you can be more specific or even like you said, your friend just had a new baby and you'd love to come meet the baby.
Hmm.
"Oh, like, are you up for visitors yet?" No pressure,
Right. Well,
right?
that one especially, because you're kind of inviting yourself over, which is great, which is awesome. I love that. But
Mhm.
that one we really do for sure need that because you're basically, yeah, like I said, inviting yourself over to their home. Really.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
exactly. So, let's talk about some other things you could say. The first one is, whatever or whenever works for you. So,
Hmm.
"Come over for dinner if you want," really, whatever works for you.
Nice. Or no stress or no worries. Yeah, that's the one I was thinking. Let's aim to get this out by Tuesday. No stress. We'll work together. Okay.
Mhm, mhm.
And I hear the phrase, if, would you like to have dinner? If not, no worries. If not, no worries.
Oh, that's a good one. If not, no worries. Yep, that's a
Very
really common
casual, but
one.
common. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, just consider when you use this. I mean, um, are you good about saying no if you just don't wanna do something?
I'm okay. I'm okay. I think I've gotten better over the years, right? As I don't feel like I need to cave into social pressure quite as much as I did
Y
in my 20s or my teens.
Yeah.
But there's still moments, like if there's a family dinner with my extended family and I'm really busy that evening and we have to drive an hour to get there, it's like
Yeah.
a Wednesday night.
Yeah.
That could lead to challenges for me. So I'm
Yeah.
always glad to hear the no pressure line.
Yeah, it makes me think of that there's an episode of Friends, I think it might even be the first episode, I'm not sure, but somebody says to Phoebe, "Oh, do you wanna help us move?" And she said, "Oh, I wish I could, but I don't want to." I was
Phoebe
like,
is so good.
yeah,
She's
and
so
it's
good.
just like, that's what we wish we could say sometimes, but there's just that's why it's so funny is because it's so direct
That's
and
so
nobody
good.
says things like that.
That is so good. Yep, no one says it. I love it. That's a great example.
Yeah.
Michelle, let's dive into a little role play. Here
Alright.
we are planning a party, a party. Here we
Ooh.
go.
Alright,
Yes.
so okay, so should we put together the goodie bags at my place or on the morning of? Oh, wait, sorry, nope, I messed up. Let me take
You
2.
can you can
Okay.
start over. Take
Alright.
2.
Okay, so should we put together the goodie bags together at my place on the morning of? No pressure, I can do them myself too.
Oh, no, that's fine, Michelle. Do you wanna fill out the invitations with me?
Of course.
Great. Whenever works for you. I'm here all afternoon.
Perfect. Do you wanna grab lunch?
Uh,
No worries if you can't, I'll bring something over.
oh, sounds great. Thanks. Yeah,
Okay.
interesting. Interesting. So we don't know why I was hesitating. Maybe I don't want to spend the money. Maybe I
Okay.
don't want to go outside because it's cold outside. I don't know. Um, but let's
I
go
could
through
hear
this.
it. Yeah. All
You
right.
could
We'll
hear
get
it. Yeah.
we'll get
Mhm.
to it. So I said,
Yeah.
so I'm asking you if we should do the goodie bags together on the morning of the party. And then I said,
Hmm.
no pressure. I can do them myself too. So I'm understanding that may be an imposition. Maybe I know that you might be busy that morning. You have a lot of other things to take care of with the party. So just
Yeah.
no pressure.
And I think it's a good practice to follow up no pressure with something else. Like I said before, you have a busy week at
Mm,
work, or no pressure. I can do them myself too.
right.
Or you're saying, well, essentially, you're saying, alternatively, I can just do it myself. I can do the goodie bags myself, right?
Exactly, exactly. And then, you said, "Do you want to fill out the invitations with me?" And I said, "Of course."
And then I said, great, whenever works for you. I'm here all afternoon. So this means that you'll have to come to my house. So I'm just saying anytime. I'm flexible in terms of when you come, right?
Yep.
Yes.
And
Yes.
then, I said, "Do you wanna grab lunch?" And you kinda hesitated, and I picked up
Mhm.
on that. So I said, no worries if you can't, I'll bring something over, so no worries."
A big part of connecting in English is hearing the what's behind the words, like we've said in past episodes that we've recorded today, right? Hearing what's behind the words so they don't have to
Yeah,
say it. So they don't
yeah,
have to say no. You inserted yourself in there and you said, "Oh, you said no worries if you can't. I'll bring something over."
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Interesting.
That's really huge. Once you get to that level of comfort with English, I think it'll really make a big difference where you're realizing these nuances, these tones of voice, and how you can kinda tell what people are thinking and use
Mhm.
your English to move past it.
Yes, that's huge. And there is another episode that our listeners, you guys can go over to 2375, just a few episodes back. And the title is
Mhm,
It's About Connection After All. I love that
mhm.
title.
Yeah,
And
that
I
was
love
fun.
the episode because we talked about how to use after all.
Yeah, that
So
was
good
fun.
and so important, right, Michelle? Yes.
Definitely. All right. Oh my gosh. This has been a lot of fun today, Lindsay. What's the takeaway for today before we let our listeners go?
Yeah, I think it really matters, again, well, first of all, what's your position with this person? How well do you know them? And what is the context of their life, right? That's what
Right.
really matters. What is going on today for them when you invite them to do something, and taking that into account in your invitation is
Yeah.
huge for connection. Huge.
Absolutely. All right. Well, this has been fun. Always fun with you, Lindsay. And guys, thank you
Always.
for listening, and we'll see you next time.
All right, Michelle, talk soon. Bye.
All right.